Hey, what's going on? Happy Sunday. So today is August 17th, and this is just going to be a quick weekly stat review of the previous trading week. So from the 11th to the 15th of this month. So I'm still doing one trade per day. So I only took 5 trades. I traded one time every single day. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm really just trying to master my system. I'm trying to pretty much perfect my execution, right? Like, and get to know myself too. Like, getting to know myself, like what opportunities, what qualities, right, that I'm willing to forego, and which ones that I'm willing to accept and use, considering that I only have one trade per day. And that's the beauty of doing like one trade per day, because then you start to get to know yourself, and you start to get to know your system a little bit more. Like if you see certain things or certain qualities, you're like, I'm not really, that's not worth my one trade per day. So you have no choice but to only do A plus or very high quality setups, right? And my whole goal is to make each setup like the ideal setup of the day, the highest quality setup of the day. Okay, so I'm only doing one trade per day. All right, so this week I made $669, which isn't too good. It's green, but it's not too good, right? And that's because Thursday and Friday was pretty tough, and we'll get into that. So, 5 trades, $669 this week, across five 150K XFAs, by the way. So, I don't know if you're that type of person that want to go ahead and do times five. I guess I made like a little over $3,000, whatever. But trade win percentage, I won 40% of my trades, right? I only took 5, so 2 were winners, 3 were losers. My profit factor is 1.53. Anything above a 1.0 is profitable. The higher, the more profitable. Okay, and then the day win percentage is always going to reflect the trade win percentage, because I'm only taking one trade per day. So I had 2 green days and 3 red days, and still came out green, by the way. So, and that's all due to the average win-loss trade. So you can see right here, I was averaging every $425 that I would lose, I would make 971, averaging out to 2.29. So every $1 that I lost, I made $2.29. At that point, that $1 that I lost, or this $425 that I lose, they're no longer losses. They're just investments, because as long as I'm doing one trade per day, taking the highest quality setups, then I will eventually arrive to the $971, right? So the losses are just a door that you have to walk through, similar to like investing into a 401k or invest into the stock market. When you put your paychecks into these investments, you don't call them losses, you call them investments. And that's the same thing here. That's what that stat is telling me. So my Zealous score is only a 36.59, which is not good at all, but this isn't enough sample size to even get me something accurate or whatever, right? There's only 5 trades. All right, and you can see my equity curve right here, right? So a healthy dip, made our way up, and now another healthy dip. Okay, so let's go to the calendar. So as you can see, Monday I lost $412, which was a good loss. Tuesday made 920. Wednesday made a little over 1,000. Thursday lost $414, which is also a good loss. And then Friday is the biggest loss that I've ever gotten since I started these 150K XFAs, which is $450 for the most part. That was the biggest loss. My daily max loss is $450. I try not to hit it, because the way that I think about my losses is, if I keep them smaller, right, then the next day when I hit like 920 or 955 or $1,000 or 1,100, whatever, if I could keep them smaller, then my next green day can go ahead and make up for that small loss and give me more profit, as long as I keep my losses smaller. And one cool thing that I also did was I went on Twitter and I started comparing myself to other people's calendars, because a lot of people, I see a lot of people that post their stuff. So I compare my calendar to theirs. And one thing that I learned, man, wins are really in the losses. That's number one. Like, wins are really in the losses. And then number two, you could really tell how skilled a trader is by their losses. Like, anybody can win, anybody can put their foot on the gas, anybody can make a shit ton of money, but who can lose properly or skillfully is really the word that I'm looking for. So going back to what I said, like, if you can keep these losers small, when we get to those green days, you just open up more opportunity for these green days to really push your account forward, right? And then also it's like taking losses is a skill. Like how well can you take a loss without trying to revenge trade, not trying to chase the money? Like me, I trade one time, and if it's a loser, I just close the whole thing down. I'm done for the day, and I move on with my day because these are investments, man. So yeah, so at the end of week 3, I made only $669. Week 2, I made a little over 2,000, and then week 1, I made $800. All right, so let's look over everything. Okay. So starting, I got funded July 24th, I believe. Yep, July 24th, I got funded, right? And July was a tough month, but I still came out green, right? $115, very small green, but I had 4 red days out of 6 trading sessions. So that just goes to show how important risk management and handling your losses are. All right. So if you go into the month of August, right now I'm up a little over $3,500 for the month across 5 XFAs. If you look at my net daily P&L, you see that these red bars signaling my losers are literally half the size or even smaller than half the size as all of my green days or my green bars. That's a beautiful sight to see, as well as my equity curve, right? Like you just always want to have like these healthy dips while going up, okay? Like I said, these past 2 days were pretty tough, right? And I talked to a lot of traders. A lot of people had problems on Friday the 15th and Thursday the 14th. So you just got to stay alive long enough to get through those hard times. So you get to a point where the market is aligning with your setup again and you are aligning with it. So just minimize your losses and survive until you start coming up again for the most part. So total 17 trades, right? 17 trading days, $3,671. I'm up 47% win rate. I have 8 green days, 9 red days. My system is about 50%. Like it's 60%. If I can make it to 60 to 65%, I'm on one. But 50% around that is my average. So we're looking pretty good, right? So 8 winners, 9 red days. So I'm always going to have that deviation where it's just like 8 winners, 9 red days, or 8 winners, 10 losers, right? Or 10 winners, 8 losers, or 9 losers, and it'll just like deviate between plus or minus 2, maybe even 3. Okay, so profit factor 2.06. Same thing for the day win percentage. I had 8 green days, 9 red days. That's always going to reflect to the trade win percentage. And then overall, my average win loss is 2.32. Every $384 that I lose, I make $891. My Zella score, with more of a sample size of 17 trades, is 73.5, which is way better. You can see that I'm almost maxing out everything, so that's pretty solid. But yeah, these are all my stats. As you can see, my trade time performance. I think this is when I actually enter trades. So now I try to enter all my trades after 10 a.m. That's when I have all of my winners. That's when I have an edge, right? So all of it is going to normally be after 10 a.m. And as you can see, my winners and losers, they have different durations. My losers are normally shorter than my winners. If you can see this one right here, this loser right here was 414. So this was Thursday. This is the longest loser I held for 1 hour. This is an anomaly compared to the rest of these losers, right? Like this is an anomaly. So this Thursday right here on the 14th, that's what I was saying. Like this is a situation where I know my setup so well that these 2 back-to-back red days of this week, I know it wasn't necessarily my fault. Like the markets were tough, and this kind of shows, like, right? So this is an anomaly, and that kind of like solidifies that. And even right here, the second longest loser that I held, 35 minutes, 36 minutes, $447.50. That's this loser right here, you know? And that one was held a little bit longer. Normally, my losers are very short. Like this one is 3 minutes and 30 seconds, 8 minutes, 20 minutes, 26 minutes. That's about it. But these ones were pretty long. All right. So I hope that this helps you out and give you an idea how to like do weekly reviews and look at your stats and use your stats as an edge. Okay. So I'll see you on the next one.